Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another Moonbuilders workshop. We're thrilled to have the great team here today from 0xGasless. They've got an exciting workshop planned, a lot of hands-on components, and they're facilitating something that's really important for both developers and end users, particularly with gasless transactions. So that's enabling users to participate in on-chain transactions without having to worry about the complexities of having gas to fund this transaction, or perhaps they want to pay in a different token. Maybe they have USDC, maybe they have Tether, but perhaps they don't have the native token of Glimmer. So I want to start with just a quick background of the Moonbuilders workshop and our incredible speakers today. So the Moonbuilders workshop, we do these about once per month, once every 2 months. These are technical focused workshops, and we've been pushing them out through not just YouTube, but also Twitter and LinkedIn. There is, of course, a replay. So if you miss a portion, you can catch up with the replay. So we are thrilled to be joined today by 3 speakers from 0xGasless, Michael, NFTs for Life, and Web3 Thug. So I just want to give a quick background on some of the speakers. So Michael started in traditional business analytics in 2019. He pivoted to crypto in 2021 and got very good at identifying early stage crypto projects. And he was participating in and working marketing these projects, including ones that reached $1 billion valuation. He joined 0xGasless in 2023 to lead marketing and business development. NFTs for Life is a technical blockchain expert who's got a strong foundation from internships back at the Ethereum Foundation and at Open Zeppelin in 2019. He worked at Polygon on meta transaction standards in 2020, and he spent 2 years from 2021 to 2023 developing smart contracts across multiple blockchains. In 2023, they started 0xGasless, which is a platform, as you know, that we're going to be talking about today. So together, they complement each other very, very well. And we also have Web3 Thug today, and we're going to hear from all 3 of them. So without further ado, I want to hand the reins over to Michael and to NFTs for Life and Web3 Thug. And if you could go ahead and share your screen, that would be awesome.
Thank you so much for the intro, Kevin. NFTs, you can share your screen.
All right. Give me 1 sec, bro. I'm just preparing the permissions. Just checking in.
Sure. So while we have a little bit of time, I'll just mention that one of the cool things that Moonbeam has is we've got lots of options for you, right? We've got a precompile called the call permit precompile. That's not the focus of our workshop today, but just to say that there are lots of options available, right? So the call permit precompile is a way to dispatch a gasless transaction through Moonbeam. But we're all about giving you many different options, right? So maybe you want to work with the call permit precompile. Maybe you want to use 0xGasless. There are lots of options available for you, and we don't take a position you should use X or Y. We just want to give you all the possible options, and you can pick and choose, the options that you like.
0xGas, 0xGas, revamp, SDK demo. All right, share screen, entire screen. Am I visible?
Yes, you are.
Perfect. So I would like to give a demo on how to use the 0xGasless tab. 0xGasless. All right. So the first thing about using the 0xGasless tab is to funding the paymaster. Yeah. So you can see that we have bunch of paymasters on different chain. Let's try one with Moonbeam. So basically we have basically we create a paymaster here that we can fund. So I have already funded a paymaster that has one GLMR. Yeah, and this is the paymaster URL that we get from the paymaster. Yeah, uh, economy index. So yeah, so integrating the 0xGasless SDK with any of the DApp is a very simple process. First, I will just try to demo how you can use the SDK as a DApp owner. Yeah, it's a very simple process. As we just need, let's see, just need to hide some private keys here. But yeah, basically we have bunch of configs. There is a local config. This is the mainnet config. Basically we have a bundler that takes in a chain ID. We have a paymaster URL as I showed earlier. Yeah, we just need these two things and an RPC to just conduct a gasless transaction. Yeah, just yeah. So let's start. We start by creating a simple object from the SDK. Okay, so here is how you import the relevant variables from the SDK. Yeah, so the SDK is live on 0xGasless / smart account package. Yeah, we have a variable here. We have a function here, create smart account client, which just helps us create a very simple ethers wrapped wallet for Web3. If you have used ethers or web3.js, this would be a very simple process. You just wrap the 0xGas SDK around that object. So you can see we created a wallet here, and we are assigning the signer as that wallet, and we pass in the paymaster and bundler URL, and that's about it. We created a smart wallet object. Now to use that smart wallet object, there are a bunch of things that we can do with it. The most importantly and the most useful one is sending a gasless transaction. Okay, so a transaction is very simple. There is just two value and data. This is just the general structure of ETH transactions. So yeah, you just create a very simple transaction here. I have created one for doing a simple token transfer. As you can see, transfer. I'm sending $1 worth of tokens to this address, and you can see that I'm passing a transaction object which has following what do you call it, following data, and you just pass in an object for paymaster service that says paymaster sponsored, and that's about it. You can instantly start sending gasless transactions and yeah, making your dApp gasless. That's it. So
Cool.
if you have already used ethers, just replacing it's a drop-in replacement for a gasless transaction.
So the demo that you're doing, if we just could you go back to the code for just a second? You said you're sending like a little bit of value, right? Like
Correct.
cool.
Correct.
So what are you sending? Like one glimmer or something like that?
It's a token, so you can add the tokens
token.
here. I will function
perfect.
interface, you token EBI, USDT. Yeah, so it's a USDT address. You can see that I'm sending I'm sending the transaction to USDT with the following data.
Cool.
It's as simple as that.
So the contract that you're interacting with, that would be the to address, right?
Correct. It's a USDT address. Correct.
Cool.
On on Moonbeam. Let me check the preferred token. This is their preferred token. I think this is Moonbeam Explorer. Yeah. We'll do Moon Scan. We'll do this and this. So yeah, it's a USDC coin. Let's try to run this example and see what we are working with. run index.ts. So we have a smart wallet here. Let's see. Come on, see. Let's see. So you can see here, it's a contract address. Yeah. You can see the token transfers here. Hopefully, we'll also see the new token transfers here. Okay, so the user op did went through. There's no glimmer here, right? Yeah, it went through. So you see the transaction did completed successfully. We'll go here. We can see that the wallet address doesn't have any gas here. We'll just do a refresh, but it does have some USDC here, and you can see that we did perform a gasless transaction very simply with like less than 100 lines of script. It's exactly less than 100 lines. Right, very simple, very simple. Click to show more. Correct, you can see the transactions here done. So yeah, this is how you can perform a gasless transaction and do all the dApp things here. There's also a bundler URL that you can do here. We have all the supported things here. You can see we have all the supported chains that you can see here. So movies, Moonbeam, etc. So yeah, that's the short version of what do you call it? Doing a gasless transaction on 0xGasless SDK. Do we have any other questions? Is there
Yeah.
Web3 Thug? What else do you want me to show, guys?
I just wanted to point out, just say that to users, like, right, why do we have a private key here, right? If it's a gasless transaction, and that's because you're signing the transaction, right? We need a wallet to sign it.
Correct. So this is because the private key is here because we are running a script. So if this were to be a browser environment, a MetaMask or a similar wallet would open, and it would ask you to sign a transaction from your UA wallet. So since all of the smart wallets are connected to an EOA address, none of the transactions gets processed without the EOA signature. It's just a security feature that we added.
Cool. Yeah, I have a couple other questions, but I also I don't want to I wanted to give you the chance if you had anything else to show, or I don't want to jump straight to questions if you had other stuff before that.
That was the first part of it. Let's just look for any questions that we have, clear out any initial doubts, so to speak.
I don't see any questions in the chat, but the cool thing about StreamYard is that it'll aggregate questions across any platform. So anybody on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Twitter, you can. We should be able to see all the comments here in one place. But yeah, let's one quick question. So what like protocol, like what is the EIP or the ERC that you guys are aligned with?
So right now the Gasless SDK is completely end-to-end compliant with the ERC 4337 standard. Okay. We are adding more standards as we go. We have bunch of roadmaps and things planned ahead that I think Web3 Thug and Michael will explain more on that. But yeah, to answer your question, it's 4337 compliant with more ERCs and EIP support coming soon.
Awesome. And we have a question from David. David is asking, so the relayer handles the transaction?
Correct. So we have a bundler. We have one of our own bundlers, and it does handle the transaction. So that's why we have a separate bundler URL, as you can see. Bundler URL. Yes, this is the Moonbeam bundler URL.
And just for somebody who hasn't heard the term before, what is the purpose of the bundler?
Let me share. I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen.
Oh, sure.
Let me do that again. It's visible, right? Yeah, it's visible.
Yep, it's
So I was showing this before. So yeah, we have this special bundler URL. And for the people that don't know what bundler is, it's basically a wrapper around an RPC node. So it's exactly very similar to an RPC node, but few functions added. So like it has handle ops instead of send transaction. I will show the blockchain data here. Yeah. So instead of doing a send transaction that you do on Ethers or Web3.js or any similar libraries that you have seen, we do a send bundle instead. And the bundle contains bunch of transactions, or just they are grouped, or you can do whatever with it. But basically, it's a transaction that doesn't necessarily originate from the sender. Yeah. So we just share the transaction to the bundler, and the bundlers, what do you call it? We have gas tanks there. So the bundlers and relayers wallets actually send the transaction to the entry point. So you can see here, I will show more details. I can see if from to. So yeah, so you can see that the transaction was actually sent to a contract, which is the entry point contract on the blockchain itself. Here. So this is what a bundler is used for, to relay the transactions between different wallets.
amazing. It makes sense. And we
Neil
got,
has a couple of questions here. Oh, sorry for cutting you,
yeah,
Kevin. I
no,
saw
no, go ahead.
Neil asking some questions here
Yeah.
in the chat.
So David asked a great question here, which is, what about cases where message.sender is needed?
It is handled, bro. So you can see messages. You can see it's packed in such a way. So the bundler itself doesn't process the things. It's processed by the entry point contract. So not to go into too much technical details, but basically the entry point contract itself unwraps the bundle transaction, and processes it like it was a regular transaction. So basically, the entry point or the bundler or whatever the SDK you want to call it, the whole thing doesn't care if someone else is sending the transaction. Yeah. So even if you send the message or sender, it's still processed as a regular transaction, and it's you don't have to worry about anything else. I hope that made sense.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I guess there were more questions. So
I think we're all set.
Transaction. What about the cases where message or sender is needed? Yeah, I think that was the last that we answered. Handle ops, user info. I think this is it. Validate account.
Do you want your screen presented back on stage?
Only if it's needed. I'm just going through some transactions. Going through the entry point contract to give a technical thing for that message dot sender thing.
Sure.
Give a technical answer on that. Yeah. Sender. See, yeah. So it has its own call data. Yeah. So the call data and the unit code and the signature itself contains all the packed information, and then it's processed like a regular sender. Like you can see the user op structure here. It even has the same nonce as the wallet's nonce, basically. And fun fact, the entry point contract is same for everyone. Like uh, everyone uses the same exact entry point contract for sending the gasless transactions.
David, I will share this link here. We've got a DocSite PR that has a tutorial. So it isn't published yet. it's just waiting for like a final review. So yeah, you can check this out, and then it'll be on our doc site in the next couple days probably. So I do have a couple more questions for you guys, but I also I didn't want to steal your thunder. If you had something else you wanted to share.
No, I think let's just move ahead with the questions.
Yeah,
Let's
sure,
just
sure.
do it. Yeah.
So in terms of like pain points that you as a developer, you guys have a background of building smart contracts. So one of my questions are like what types of pain points do you face as a builder, and yeah, what is like maybe something that you think we could work on, or things that we can do to kind of make the builder experience easier.
I should take that one, I think. So as a dApp builder, I have for specifically Web3, I have encountered a bunch of strange things that are very what do you call it? Very foreign to the Web2 world. Yeah, like instead of a database, or instead of a a permanent how do you call it, a malleable thing. Yeah, you have to live with your code being permanent, not changing the data, not able to change certain stuff. So that's one of the biggest I won't say hurdle, since it's designed that way, but it's one of the biggest problems designing dApps. Yeah. The other that I would say is that most dApp builders face when they are trying to grow the audience is the whole what do you call it, the Web3 experience. I would say, to generalize into the broad thing, like the keeping of secrets, the private keys, the wallets management, the having of extension, and managing it. If you lose your browser, you lose, if and you haven't backed up, that's a whole another thing. You create a bunch of wallets that you don't know, or burner wallets, and it's just gets drifted away, all of those things. And the most important one is, you need to have an app or a extension installed for for people to browse your things. That's just whole another what do you call it, barrier to the entry. Like people are building a lot of stuff like embedded wallet. The Gasless thing here is one of those solutions too. But broadly speaking, those are the biggest problems that we dApp builders face. And I wouldn't say the research part is much of a big deal, because like we are all used to high paced change, high paced pressuring environments where just things change. You have to pivot the whole tech. There's just new standard yet you have to follow through all of those things. Yeah, but yeah. Broadly speaking, those are the major problems that we as Web3 communities are facing in the development bit, at least.
For sure.
And
I like that.
sorry to cut you off. I didn't know. I don't know. It doesn't sound much, but the gas, bro, the gas, the whole max fee thing, the priority fee thing, the whole gas limit thing, just getting the gas right sometimes is really tough. It's just really tough. Like, you need an active connection to properly query the gas. If the secondary gas estimation fails, you have to come up with your own thing, and it's just always fluctuating. There is sometimes slow transaction that you can't process, and your app doesn't update the state. It's just sometimes it's a little messy to handle the gas. But yeah, that's the last problem that just I remembered watching all of this gas offsets.
For sure.
Yep.
And there's slight nuances between network to network, right? And the gas
Yeah,
estimation is just
correct.
that, right? It's an estimate, and it could be wildly over, or there could be like
Under,
a problem with estimating it. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, yeah. Very
So
underrated problem.
mhm, mhm. So we sort of touched on it, but I think a good segue is kind of okay. So these are some of the developer problems, but a little bit of the user experiences like signing up and having gas. Is that the primary kind of problem that you think that we face for users to be onboarded? So non-technical people, just people who want to use the dApp, is the hardest part, like getting them an account and having their MetaMask, or do you think there are other hurdles that are kind of like in the way of mass adoption?
Definitely, like as we said earlier, as I said earlier, that having a separate product so that someone can use your own product is a problem in it itself. Like you need to always depend on MetaMask and uh, MetaMask or Phantom or Wallet Connect, and sometimes they break. Like they are not all perfect. You have to try a bunch of things. Like even if you see my screen right now, I have at least three wallets installed. So if one of them breaks, I can switch to alternate wallets. So yeah, the wallets and the whole management thing is one of the big issues. Second is also like as we talked about the funding and having the gas itself. Like bro, migrating assets, having it on that one chain, bridging. Sometimes there are decentralized bridge, sometimes there are not decentralized bridge. Be wary of all those scams, bro. It's a whole another headache, like whole another thing to have a funded wallet all the time to just so you can interact with the gas. And thirdly, as we said, that just managing the whole wallet. But yeah, that's the basics, like everyone knows and everyone's are solving. But the other thing that I think majorly here is the just the whole experience, bro. Like because it's still very nascent. People are trying to figure out what the UX should be, what how should the whole thing work. So there is a lot of what do you call it, transitions, a lot of fast-paced things that you have to keep aware of, that you need to you need to be constantly checking. That's one of the other biggest problems that I've seen people face, just keeping up with the whole research and just the whole new thing, like migrating your wallets if the what do you call it, the implementation of the blockchain has changed. Like the recent migration from old ETH gas system to the new gas system with priority and max and all of that. Yeah. So that was a little jarring even for some developers that I know, to navigate to that whole gas thing, like how it works, like what should I do, like is it more expensive, is it less expensive. Yeah. And yeah, I think that's those are the most broader and more prominent issues that we're facing right now as a community. If anyone
And
wants to.
oh, yeah. Yeah, Michael or Web3 Thug. Yeah, anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, Kevin. So one of the reasons why I joined this team, it was almost like 2 months after the project actually started. So I started off as a trader in crypto, and one of the biggest issue that I faced was the first time when I
Yeah.
transferred some USDT from Binance to my Binance Smart Chain wallet. Back then, when most people start trading, they usually do it with their stable coins, and that's how I was trading on exchanges. And it was, I think, the beginning of the meme cycle that was happening, and a lot of IDOs were happening in the month of April, May 2021. So I just moved some USDT to my wallet, and I tried swapping to a token, and I realized that I need some BNB in my wallet. I mean, I didn't know why the transaction really failed. So these are some of the issues which a new user faces. I had to go to YouTube, check how does a transaction, what is this gas fee. A lot of people panic in that situation, and when they realize that, okay, I need to send these funds back to the exchange now, because I can't even swap it back to BNB in that. Once it's sent back to MetaMask, I need to send it back, and then I realize, oh no, I need to on ramp some funds now, buy some BNB on an exchange, and then send the BNB to my MetaMask wallet to make a transaction. So, this is something, it's not just me as a user that has faced it. I think it's with literally anybody that comes into blockchain. Even with Solana, a lot of users that are coming in right now, they face this issue. But especially in the early days of EVM, this was one of the very major issue that users faced. And obviously, like when we are on Polygon and any of these chains, Polygon has a little different mechanism. They have meta transactions, and literally all the tokens are meta transaction compliant there. Um, so this is something that I think the paper was just published in the month of March or April. And it was just after 2 or 3 months that NFTs for Life launched this. But yeah, it was when I heard about it, I legit had to see it and understand, okay, what is this gasless transaction, because I had never seen or never heard of anything like that. And that's what surprised me, and I just got on board immediately after that. I knew it, like this is a project that I want to be spending my next 5 years to push this project from where it is. So I mean, it's worked out really good for us. We've had good users, good projects that have used our that are using our SDK right now. And overall, from the events that I've attended, I've just realized that everything is ultimately going to be app based, like just like we saw with Web 2. And account abstraction is one of the way for dApps to make it seamless, keep the decentralization, and users are able to log in or create an account, and they get a smart wallet along with that account. And the transactions are so seamless that a user doesn't even need to know there is something called as a smart wallet, or there's something called as blockchain behind it. And I think that's where the future of Web3 is, and making it so seamless that a user cannot really differentiate what blockchain is from a Web2 experience. And down the line, there were just way too many benefits that I found out about. But these were one of the key things that I looked into when I joined the team. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Web3. You want to add something? Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Hello. Hello. Am I
Yeah, you're
audible?
good. Audible.
Yeah, you're
Yes,
good.
yes,
Perfect.
audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I guess we actually have a similar experiences. So when I got into DeFi, the whole setup was quite confusing at first. In fact, um, at the beginning, I had to pay someone to actually teach me how to use Trust Wallet, how to connect to PancakeSwap, how to take down my seed phrase and all that. So it was quite confusing looking back now, because of course with my Web2 experience, it was all about signing up on an app. Okay, you receive your login details and all that, and you can actually recover your account through your email. Okay, so but for Web3, like when I got into Web3, like it was really different. Like I got to understand that okay, you needed to carefully store your seed phrase, make sure that no one aside from you actually gets access to it, because if you lose it, you lose your funds and all that. So it was actually quite scary. So, and I feel like there's no way to actually market Web3 to someone from Web2, and you're telling the person, okay, you know what, if you don't keep your seed phrase, and someone gets hold of it, then your funds are gone, or you misplace it, you can't access your funds, you can't recover your funds. Like it's quite scary. So it's not something that we can actually market. So when I got to know about Web3 and also joined as the business development manager, um, I was quite excited for the fact that I'll be part of something that could actually seamlessly help to onboard new users. So new users do not have to go through the same experiences that we actually went through back in 2021, where you need to carefully store your seed phrase, where you have to have deal with gas. Okay, so even if you have $1 million worth of USDT on your MetaMask or Trust Wallet, like without the native token for gas, you can't make a transaction. Like, that's actually insane. So I felt that, okay, like for such a project, I was really quite excited getting involved and seeing that, okay, this is something that could actually help advance the goal of Web3. Because for me, Web3 is all about freedom, as in really, it's all about freedom. I would kind of share, okay, my peculiar experience here. Okay, so there are times that the government over here has been so restrictive of what we do with our own money internationally. Like, sometimes our bank cards will not work. Like, the banks would freeze your cards. You can't use them on international sites and all that. And so you find out that we can't really continue like this, especially for us in the third world countries. So you find out that for us, crypto is actually the way, because if I need to actually spend money right now, the easiest way for me to actually buy anything internationally right now is actually through crypto, using Bitcoin, stable coins, and all that. That's actually the easiest way to do, because one is that international transactions are way too expensive for us. I'll give you an instance. Like, okay, if I subscribe to if I try to subscribe to an X premium account, and probably I get refunded by X, my bank still charges me. Like, do you understand? Like, I still get charged for it and all that. So making an international transaction is actually very complicated. So with Web3, like, personally, I see Web3 as freedom. Like, it actually gives me that freedom to actually do a whole lot. So that's actually one of the reasons why I was excited actually joining the OS Gasless project. So
Amazing.
yeah,
Appreciate you
yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
So I did want to mention, I remember we were talking about, how hard it is to make swaps and stuff like that. And I just wanted to mention that, Moonbeam's working to help, improve that experience. We've got a ton of different bridge integrations. If you go to apps.moonbeam.network, you can see in there, we've got a couple of our bridges listed there. And then another thing, which this hasn't been announced yet, but it's almost finished, but an integration with Picnic, which is a decentralized exchange that acts like a centralized exchange. So you can imagine that you're in a centralized exchange, right? And you can press swap or convert, and all this takes care of this, in a little bit more familiar and experience than going to a DEX and making a series of complicated swaps. So just something to look forward to there. And we appreciate you guys. We're thrilled. As I mentioned, we've got the doc site tutorial that's going to be launching soon, and we've got that link there just showing the PR in our GitHub. But we're excited to see how builders use 0xGasless on Moonbeam and offer it to their users.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kevin. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
I appreciate you guys joining us today, and appreciate the hard work that you put in for the demo. In these types of things, we've got, a lot of people. We've got Neil, we've got Melissa, we've got people behind the scenes working to make sure that this goes smoothly. And so a huge shout out to the team and to you guys, because, prep goes into this, right? We've got calls, we've got tests, we've got, back and forth and planning. So a lot goes into putting these on, and I just want to extend a huge thank you to everybody.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It was a pleasure being here.
Thank you so much.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bro.